Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success, the only internet talk show that prepares you for the coming robot apocalypse. Episode number 79 here on this Monday morning. How's my friend Matt this morning?
I don't know, but that was the most random but awesome, cool introduction I've heard in the history of internet shows, radio shows. That's just amazing. Your creativity is awesome. Dude, 3 more days and we're hanging, bro. St. Louis, Thursday. St. Louis, Thursday, my friends. It starts Friday night. Cannot wait. I'm thinking, Mike, we'll probably have at least close to 100 volunteers at this missions trip. It's going to be fun. We got people coming from all over the place. We're going to be meeting at New Life Friday night at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. You know, people ask us why we start at 8. And the reason is because we can. No, we start at 8 because, usually Friday night in a lot of these bigger cities, traffic is crazy. And
Right.
day. And so just that extra 30 minutes, the typical time everything starts in Pentecost is 7:30, but we decided to break the mold and go 8 o'clock. Plus, we stay up really late and get up really early, so it's good. We don't want anything predictable about Mission 25. If you can predict it, we're sad. We're actually disappointed in ourselves if you can predict it. Right, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how we roll. Um, like, for example, you might predict that Matt would be on the show for most of the show, when in fact he won't be. He'll just drop occasionally, randomly, due to sunspots or possibly the overtaking of robots. Hmm, perhaps not. So he'll join us back here in just a second, and we are actually amazingly excited about this weekend. What's coming up in St. Louis? There's so many amazing things that are going to happen, and that, by the way, Matt, dropping like that was unpredictable. What an amazing segue. That was
Yeah, I
creative,
know what
or
thought
was that an
in the
accident?
flow of inspiration, and next thing you know, bam. It's just how it goes sometimes. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And good morning to you, Michael. Trust you had a good weekend. How was your weekend, my friend? Can you maybe share 3 things that
Uh,
stand out about the weekend?
um, I worked almost all day Saturday, and of course Sunday was Easter. It was 70 degrees in Minnesota yesterday. That stands out. It was amazing.
That's almost signs
So,
of the end
had a
times
great day.
right there. That's almost something that could go on the Baxter show. That's like global warming on steroids, my friend.
Uh, yeah. I'm really actually a conspiracy theorist. I hide it really well, and I'm like a zombie prepper. No, I'm not. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Did you prep for I was curious. I wish I'd have known you back during the days of Y2K, because then I would have said, Mike, is this thing real? And you'd have been like, dude, I can fix it in 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. You know, were you worried about it?
No. No, actually, I was so exhausted I didn't care because I was a software guy. I was literally working 90 hours a week all year.
Trying to get
Um,
everything prepped. I didn't do anything.
yeah, and I really
About
wasn't
one
worried.
extra gallon of water, and I don't even think I did anything different besides that.
Well, you got to understand, I'm the kind of guy that, with the knowledge that I have and the understanding and the tools and the weapons and all the everything, it's like, whatever, end of the world, fine, bring it.
That's so you. That's so you, man. But that's all right. That's who we want in our lives under pressure. Hey, good morning to our live audience. God bless each of you. Don't forget, you are able to go right over to the right into the chat box and ask questions, share your thoughts, comments. Then those that are listening later through our archives, God bless you and thank you as well. We appreciate you taking time out to be with us. So looking forward to today's shows, Mike. This is one of our favorites. We like to get people starting their week off right. Isn't this cool? Here's what's cool. No matter how bad you messed up over the weekend, you always have us Monday coming at you first. 9 a.m. Here we are every Monday, health and weight loss. So we're always going to start you off right. We're always going to get you in the mojo of exercise, eating healthy, juicing, thinking positive. So this is awesome. I'm glad we do this on Mondays, Mike. We purposely started off the week with health and weight loss just to get people back on the right track. You got a whole week ahead of you.
Yeah.
You have a whole week, my friends. You got 168 hours between now and next Monday's show. 168 hours. Don't tell me you don't have time to juice. All right, Carol.
And if you're anything like me, with Easter dinner yesterday, you probably need a little bit of health inspiration today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Stacy Bishop said rough weekend with all those chocolate bunnies everywhere. I'm not going to be the good guy today. I'm going to stay silent and tell you how good I did over Easter. I'm not going to be the good guy today, okay? I don't want anyone to feel condemned or guilty, but I did stay pretty good, Mike. I ate my Easter dinner at Whole Foods all by myself. But hey, it was a good dinner, my friend. Actually, I brought it home and made my own. I grilled some salmon and vegetables and eggplant parm. It was good. It's all good. But anyways, hey, here we are, bro.
Good.
It's Monday. How you doing up there in Minnesota? When are you guys leaving? Wednesday?
I think super early Thursday morning.
Well, all I got to say is when my behind gets in St. Louis, I hope you guys are there.
What time you get in?
I don't know. Carol should know.
Okay.
Carol, do you know?
Excuse me. I'm looking at this new Spreecast interface. And I'm trying to figure out. I don't see the question box anymore.
Yeah, they've jacked it up on us. They made some changes. But hey, let's get going on health, my friend. Tell us what we got going today.
All right. Hey, well, I got tons of questions. The first one that I'm going to ask is what is the number one reason that people don't lose weight?
The number one reason, man, that's hard. I'm going to give you 3 quick reasons. But probably the number one reason that people don't lose weight is because they don't exercise. That would be number 1. Number 2 is they don't eat healthy. That would be number 2. Number 3 is I think one of the reasons a lot of people don't lose weight is because they don't love themselves and they have deep emotional issues that they haven't dealt with. And a lot of that, believe it or not, a lot of the unhealthy eating is emotionally driven. I think that's a huge part of weight gain and unhealthy eating, and just a lot of people are what we call emotional eaters. We've dealt with that on this show. But I think it's more of a problem, Mike, than we realize. You got to realize I deal with weight loss every day because I'm a life coach and a weight loss coach. Probably 90% of my coaching is actually weight loss. I'm dealing with people that are trying to lose 100 pounds. I literally had a guy write me yesterday that's weighing over 300 pounds. The doctor's telling me he's going to die. He's in his early 30s. But I'm up for the challenge. I literally believe I can help anybody lose weight. But let me just throw this out there before we get to the next question. You said, why don't people lose weight? So I was talking to somebody yesterday that was, considering doing some coaching, and she had some questions, and, she needed to lose some weight. She said, the first thing she said to me was, I can exercise. I just can't eat healthy. She's like, I can't do all that. She goes, I can't do the juicing. I can't drink water. I can't, right? Well, Henry Ford once said, those that think they can and those that think they can't, they're both right. Literally, I believe that the majority of weight loss is right here. The battle is right here. And all that talk, all that negative, self-defeating talk, she's automatically going to lose. Now, I'm going to help her. I'm going to change the way she talks and the way she thinks. That's part of it. Because as long as she has that can't mentality, she'll never beat it. You know what I mean? The Bible says, I can do all things through Christ. You've got to learn to start speaking faith over your situation, even when it comes to weight loss. Most people are not in the right state. They don't get the right energy towards it. They immediately think the negative. They think the worst. They think what they can't. And so they're approaching it thinking that they got to give up stuff. Actually, here's what's cool. You don't have to give up stuff. You don't have to give up anything. You're going to gain so much more. So change your focus off of what you're giving up and put your focus and energy on what you're going to gain. The fact that you're going to feel better than you've ever felt in your life. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to feel better about your body. You're going to be able to wear clothes that actually fit. You're going to have healthier self-esteem. And not only that, you're going to respect yourself, but other people are going to respect you more. Mike, there's something about it that when you are healthy and you take care of yourself, people respect you. And that's just the bottom line. We could go farther into that, but I know we have more questions.
Yeah. The first thing that you mentioned was exercise. Do you have I'm sure you have your own sort of regimen, but what do you recommend as a daily exercise?
Well,
Excuse me.
from what I've studied, Mike, and what I've experienced, nothing beats a good walk. Walking is so healthy. But what my regimen is, I walk a lot just to clear my head and just for a good walk. No matter what, I tell everybody that I'm coaching, the first thing I do for them, Mike, the first thing is I immediately get them into the lifestyle of doing a 20-minute walk every day, no matter what. In fact, they got to text me after their walk. So by midnight, if they haven't gotten their walk, I told a client last week, listen, no, you can't go to bed. I'm sorry. You didn't get your walk in today. I love you. You got to get 20 minutes. I'm really on them about that. So I think no matter what, Mike, everybody should try to get in a 20-minute walk, okay? Because that's easy, that's manageable. And there's something about just a good 20, 30-minute walk, clears the mind, makes you feel better. And over a period of time, it's actually going to help you keep the weight off, stay healthy, stay fit.
Sure.
But nothing beats good cardio for getting the heart racing, the heartbeat. My regimen is I like to keep it moving and I like to change it up. So I'm not the type of guy that can stay 30 minutes on a treadmill or 30 minutes on a Stairmaster. I could if I wanted to, but I don't like it. I like to mix it up. So I do like 10, I'll start off with 10 minutes on the elliptical. Then I'll do a 10-minute run on the treadmill. And then I'll do 10 minutes on the Stairmaster. And then I'll go back 10 minutes on the elliptical, 10-minute run. I'm up to about 45 minutes to an hour of cardio right now a day. And I would do more, but time. So I use that time to for my personal growth. So I always play. You saw a picture on Instagram yesterday of success CDs. I have every success CD that's come out. So I just put them on my iPod, listen to them all the time. In fact, I'll bring them with me to St. Louis so you can dump them on your computer. But anyways, listen to this. Here's the deal, my friends. Swimming, biking, exercising, all of that thing. And if you're married, good sex is good exercise as well and very healthy for you.
Good. Do you are you involved in a lot of weight training at all? Do you use weights?
Like lifting weights?
Yeah.
I'm not a trainer. No. I've thought about becoming one just because I love the idea of interacting with people in a gym and really helping them, face to face. So I think if I ever had the time, which probably isn't going to happen just because of my other higher priorities, I would do that. All I know is from what I've picked the brains of people that lift weights, they all say the same thing, protein after you lift. Um, it's all about. Some people say go extremely high weight until failure. Some say low weight, high reps. Just you got to mix it up. And I'll tell you one thing I'll say, and then we'll move on to another subject. Is anybody that does want to lift weights, a lot of people have just going to start lifting and all. You got to work your different muscle parts each day. Like I do back and biceps one day, then the next day I'll do shoulder and chest. The next day I'll do triceps and legs, and I always rotate it. But you never want to do arms or any muscle 2 days in a row. You always want to give at least a day or two off of each muscle to rest and let that muscle grow, or it's not going to grow. So my routine is bicep and back Mondays. So today I'll be doing that. Tomorrow, Tuesdays, I do shoulder and chest. Wednesdays, I do leg and triceps, and then Thursdays I repeat the process: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm always working each muscle twice a week. So that's for me. I don't know, Mike. What's your take on it?
Yeah.
I know you've done a lot of weightlifting, and
Well, it kind of depends on the goal, right? And you mentioned low weight, high reps, and high weight, low reps. It depends on whether you're trying to build mass or definition or just sort of uh, get things into shape. I know that I use and have a lot in the past used weight training to really strengthen joints and so forth. I've got a bad shoulder and a bad knee, and of all the things that I can do for those problem areas. One's from a motorcycle accident, one's a football injury, whatever. But uh, the best thing that I can do for those injuries is really to keep them in shape using weight training. And of course, in those cases, high weight isn't really what you want to do, uh, especially not until you're in extremely good shape. So I tend to go with lower weight, higher reps, just to build muscle tone and more strength in the joint in that area. And don't forget stretching, because stretching is massively important, especially for joint health.
you know what? I'm glad you said that. That's something that a lot of people that lift weights, they always emphasize stretching before and after. A lot of people only stretch before. It's also very important to stretch after. I like what you said, Mike, about what is your goal. Most people, and this starts with everything from weight loss to finances. I mean, we've got to become more clear about our goals. I was doing a coaching session this last week, and a client was just talking about his future. And I said, you know what I hear? I don't hear any clarity. So this week, I need you to get crystal clear about where you want to be, and then even get clear. And then after you get there, even get more clear. Mike, most people are not precisely clear about where they want to be. So they're aimless and they're lifting weights. They don't have a goal. Like me, I don't want to be this massively, huge guy. I just don't. I just want to be fit and I want to be in shape. So that's my clear goal. I want to be more cut, and so but I will say this, it is good to mix up your routine, because like anything, if you're just, sometimes I'll do high weight and then sometimes I'll do low weight, but for the most part, I'll do lower weight, high reps. I'll do like 4 sets of 25 on lower weights. Man, you can't even move your muscles when you're done doing that. You know what I'm saying?
I would say for most people, that's a much better direction to go. It's much better to go with low weight, high rep. Don't let your like ego get in the way of wanting to push a lot of weight.
Absolutely.
I've had specific goals in the past. Like I think 2 summers ago, I wanted to hit 350 on the bench press. To hit that kind of goal, you have to have very specific regiments, and it's extremely high weight. Mass build. Yeah, I hit it.
Bam. Um, Somebody said something. Oh, Ashley. She said, how important is it to maintain a positive attitude towards eating healthy and exercise? It's a very good question, Ashley, because the majority of people that are overweight, they're also tend to be a little on the negative side. It's all your health is so affected by your attitude. Everything. Oh, by the way, let me just jump back on this. Don't let your kids lift weights. Like my son is 12. You see how athletically driven he is, right? He goes to the gym with me to work out, but it's all core. I don't let him lift weights at that age. A lot of parents that let their kids lift weights at a young age, you can stunt their growth and actually do more harm than good. You would think, oh yeah, it's only 5, 10 pounds. At least till Mike, what would you say, 13 or 14 maybe? I got
I would
Caleb
say.
pushed out to maybe 14. But push-ups, core, all that, definitely for kids. I just want to make sure people know that.
Yeah, there's a way to do it right, but it's probably not worth the risk. So I would just wait. They're
Wait.
not going to gain a lot anyways. There's going to be a change in the body chemistry that allows them to make gains in weight training after that anyways. When a kid is 12, 11, 12, 13, it's not going to do a lot of good for them anyways because of the body chemistry. So
Well, let me just throw one more thing in there because we're on to exercising, and this also kind of ties into Ashley's question. Mike, if you can, all you that are watching this episode here, if there is any way humanly possible for you to swim 3 to 5 days a week, do it. I can't even tell you how much that is the best exercise. There's no better, it works every muscle in your body. It is so refreshing. So if there's a way, if you have a pool at your house, if you have a gym that has a pool, get in the water. Mike, we talked about our joints. I had a bad knee. I couldn't even run around the block, man. I started swimming every day, and literally I can run for miles now. There's also, what I also believe, Mike, talking about emotions, and we'll address Ashley's question now. Ashley, good to see you. Ashley's been a huge supporter of Fuel for Success. Mike, um, I honestly believe that a lot of our physical ailments, aches and pains, nerves, a lot of it is actually impacted by something that's going on in a relationship or something emotionally or stress. A lot of it could be actually triggered by bitterness or resentment towards somebody, because if you don't learn how to release your emotions, if you hold on to things and you tend to be a resentful, bitter person, hold grudges, I honestly believe that's why some people are always physically hurting, you know? And I really believe that the healthier you can become in your mind and your emotions, I also believe that will impact your body in a lot of ways. I've seen a lot of people, Mike, that they had major problems in their body, pain, ailments, pinched nerves, slip disc in their back. And when you really break it down and you really dig, I really believe, they had gone through maybe a nasty divorce, maybe lost their business. They had some really high stress situation. Someone betrayed them. Maybe they're still resentful towards their father. And a lot of that, Mike, I really believe after studying it and seeing it, I really believe that if people can totally heal in here and up here, that a lot of those physical pains that you have will go away. I literally believe that. I've talked to people, Mike, talking about sore knee. The
Yeah.
lady that used to cut my hair told me that whenever she would go back to her ex-boyfriend, she couldn't run because her knee would be in so much pain because it was a toxic
Wow.
relationship, right? And every time she would break up, there would be no pain in her knee. Dude, that's huge. I'm telling you, I know firsthand what toxic relationships or toxic people or toxic emotions, also what they can do to the body. I know firsthand. And that's why I always encourage people to do whatever it takes to live a stress free life and to be healthy emotionally and mentally and learn how to live life light. So, yes, Ashley, positive attitude is everything. It is everything towards healthy eating and exercising. In fact, if somebody does not develop a positive attitude, this is probably one of the premier benefits of my coaching, Mike, is I work heavy on people changing their attitude and getting more upbeat about health and more vibrant and more positive towards people, more positive towards themselves. Most people, Mike, are not even they might be positive about the fact that it's sunny out today, right? Or we have a beautiful day, or I got a raise. But most people are not positive about themselves, you know, and that affects our health. Anyways, I know we have a ton more questions, and I could talk about that all day. What's your take on that, Mike? About
What
the emotions and how it can affect the body, man?
I completely agree with that, and I see even the way that a person's emotional well-being can affect their overall health and illnesses and that sort of thing. And I think stress, especially, is a massive contributor to health-related issues, and which is another reason that exercise is so good. I mean, when you exercise, your body, it helps with your stress in your body. So um,
I
I think
like
that's a
what
great.
Terry said. She said that when she's stressed, her neck and shoulder hurts. Absolutely. We got a question here from Donna. I think you grabbed it.
Yeah, about juicing wheatgrass.
I just started
So
juicing wheatgrass, I'm using a NutriBullet, and it's not mixing up good. What juicer is good for the wheatgrass? Donna, let me clarify just because I'm going to help you with this to save you and get you back to having a very pleasant wheatgrass experience. Um, so, my best advice when it comes to wheatgrass is I don't mix it with my juice. The reason why I don't is because you want your juicing to be a good experience. And Mike and I will both tell you, I mean, look, we can drink wheatgrass and we don't even need a chaser. I'm at a point where I don't need a chaser. Chaser meaning, some apple juice or, a bite of peanut butter or something just to kill the taste. Now my son, Mike, he's turned into a daily wheatgrass juicer. You'll have to tease him about that. But here's the deal. Don't mix it. So if you're juicing your wheatgrass, does this mean that you bought a tray of wheatgrass and you're cutting it up and you're putting it in your juicer? Or do you actually have a wheatgrass machine? Or do you buy the wheatgrass shots? So I need to know a little bit more, Donna. What I do is I just go, we have places, of course, I'm blessed to live in Tampa. We have places here that do wheatgrass shots. So I'll just go get my wheatgrass shots and just slam it. I don't mix it in my juice myself. Mike, you have a different take on that?
Well, I was just going to say that from an actual, if you're taking wheatgrass and you want to juice it, that's a completely different sort of juicing. Like even when we covered the different types of juicers, wheatgrass has a different. You have to use a different sort of mechanism to do that. I think Janice said she has the omega-3. It's what's called a masticulating, I think is what it's called, juicer. That like if you go to a professional juice bar, they'll put the wheatgrass through a different machine than like they'll put the apples and carrots in a lot of times. And you can get a manual, like a hand crank wheatgrass juicer for about $45, but it takes a different kind of mechanism to break down the wheatgrass than it does other fruits and vegetables. So
Well, you know what, and you're right. And I love what Mike. I just want to acknowledge we have Ann on here, all the way from from the Philippines, but now lives in Hong Kong. So that's cool. I love to see people from other countries get on our show. So Ann, welcome to Fuel for
cool.
Success. She's a big fan of Fuel for Success. Glad to have her on. So let me just throw this. I was actually talking to somebody this week that was juicing their spinach through their Jack LaLanne, and they were like, it's not giving me any juice. Mike said it right. You got to go back out of Mike. What was it? Episode 16?
19.
We almost need to take that one episode and put it on the main page of Fuel for Success, and just because literally we answered almost every question there is to answer about juicing on that one show, didn't we? That was probably our funnest show ever.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Mike loves it when I just throw out stuff we should do right on open air.
Yeah. Okay, I'll add that to my to-do list.
I need a little more positive attitude about that.
I'm excited to post that on there. Let me do it right now.
There we go. That's how we need to be.
I can't wait to put that on there.
Caleb, dude, every time he goes to the bathroom number 2, it's like a celebration because it's so healthy, right? It's a major celebration. He's like, Dad. I'm like, yes! It's so
Just
healthy.
at home, or what if you're like out at a restaurant and he goes? Does he come back to the table and you're like, it was 2? Was it 2?
Yeah, I was asking. He's like, yeah, don't say anything. Yeah. It's just good. It's good for you. And if you guys aren't, then this is a health and weight loss show. Believe it or not, I know it's kind of one of those things that's fun and embarrassing at the same time to talk about, but juicing is the answer to that.
Hey, Janice is saying you could put the wheatgrass through a different juicer and pour it through cheesecloths and squeeze it out. I might try that. Put some wheatgrass and a NutriBullet, grind it up and run it through cheesecloth.
Wow. Janice, maybe you're coming to St. Louis. You can sample that for us. I'll bring my juicer. Yeah. We got 30 seconds. Mike, hey, what a way to start off the week. Hopefully we've given you guys enough mojo. Let's kind of review. We want you getting very positive about your health, letting go of toxic emotions and toxic relationships, and also getting your exercise in every day, your 20-minute walk, right? Swimming if you can, juicing every day, getting your wheatgrass. These are the things we talked about today. Having a good attitude, learning how to lift weights the right way. Stretching is very important. Hey, Mike, even if you don't lift weights, people should stretch in the morning. So I tell Caleb
Stretching.
all the time, yeah, get up and get your body moving. That's the secret. You know, most people, when they wake up, they lay in bed. Do not lay in bed when you wake up. Get up and get your body moving. David Sandy asked, can combine prayer and walking? Absolutely. I love doing that as well. Mike, we're going to have a great week. Mission 25 is coming up, my friends. Go to mission25usa.com and drop a big, hefty donation for us. We're going to St. Louis, Missouri this weekend. Pray for us. We'll be seeing you all tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. EST for Fuel for Success, dealing with life coaching and motivation. Also, don't forget, my friends, you can go to YouTube, you can go to iTunes and watch or listen to Fuel for Success. Mike, do a Fuel for Success in a radio voice or another accent, and then we'll go.
Everybody join us on fuelforsuccess.tv tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Eastern.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it. Love y'all.